My name is David Muravi, and this is Future Leaders Connect 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, British Council is committed to developing future leaders. The Future Leaders Connect program is a global policy network which enables the most outstanding young leaders between the ages of 18 to 35 from all around the world to develop their policy expertise and make valuable connections and discuss major contemporary global policy challenges with global leaders and influencers. Candidates with exceptional policy ideas, energy, and commitment will become members of the Future Leaders Connect program this year. They will travel to the United Kingdom to join a policy training program delivered in partnership with the University of Cambridge, meeting with senior policymakers in the United Kingdom, and visits to key governance policy institutions in the United Kingdom.
We are here because we believe in something. Now, for future leaders, we believe in using the tool of policy. Maybe you believe in a different tool. And there's something that happens when you're in a community that believe. We are here as they pitch, we will be celebrating them. And I thank you, even as I welcome you to the British Council family that is committed to keeping this chain reaction of hope going.
The British Council has a long track record of developing young leaders in the UK and across the world. Our scholarship work spans over 40 years, and we've supported opportunities for both academic and professional development for thousands of young people. Last year in 2017, Kenya was chosen as one of the pilot countries for the British Council's brand new Future Leaders Connect programme. It's our hope that the programme will not only support Kenya in developing strong leaders to secure its future, but that it will also enhance greater understanding and cooperation between the UK and other nations of the world.
This evening I'm very present to two very powerful and influential people. One is Machiavelli, the other is Muhammad Ali. Machiavelli once said, "Make no small plans, for they have no power to rouse or to stir the spirit." Muhammad Ali once said, "I knew and I declared that I was the greatest long before I became the greatest." So I offer that to the six finalists today, and I ask them to be bold, to offer disruptive ideas, and to offer scalable ideas.
How many of you have walked into a health facility seeking Dr. Bosire's services? But you walk out, you ask yourself, I am not satisfied, I feel harassed, I feel like my needs have not all been sorted. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of the LGBTI persons in this country. A goal of achieving the 1990 zero infection rate by 2030 globally is not going to be a reality. And I plead with you, allow us to treat all Kenyans equally. Thank you.
1 out of 3 people today in Nairobi's informal settlements are going to go to bed having had either one meal or nothing at all. That is a problem of Nairobi's urban food insecurity. So if we are going to address the matter of food insecurity today in the urban space, what are the gains? 1, we will have healthy, productive populations, adults who can contribute to nation building. Secondly, those 22% children that I talked about, we will be able to provide them with a head start nutritionally for their cognitive development, allowing them, giving them their constitutional right to be productive human beings into the future.
I care about food security, but how will you get young people to understand and care about food security?
It is a matter of getting the message out in people's faces using all avenues possible. institutions, whether it is civil society, whether it is the church, whether it is the media. Let us saturate the message out there.
Did you know that every 5 minutes a child dies as a result of violence, and that 4 out of 5 children experience some form of violence within the home? The media, you have a role to play in raising awareness on violence against children, the effects to them, the effects within our communities, and even in the global arena to the issues that affect children. So I call upon you to contribute in this discourse of ending violence against children, so that eventually we realize peaceful societies. We realize the growth and developments of our own countries.
From a policy perspective, what interventions or what sanctions do you feel would work to tackle the problem?
We can hold people accountable for the actions that they take, punitive measures, laws that are put in place to punish those who actually defile children.
According to the World Bank, between 2006 to 2016, our yearly carbon emissions had increased from 9,000 to 16,000. Within the same time period, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics reported that respiratory diseases had increased from 7.6 million to 19.8 million. Can we look at the reforms that are incentivizing pollution today? As policy developers, we need to not only think about what we're doing today, but also how we're going to be impacting the future.
Is carbon tax an idea ahead of its time in our country today? And if it is not, how will that, what ideas do you have around how that can be implemented?
We need to regulate it from today because it is our children that we need to start thinking about. We need to do something. We need to stop importing cars that are destroying our environment and our health.
Do you know 1 in every 3 women worldwide have experienced physical or sexual violence by their intimate partner or non-partner? Let's all stand up, speak up and report, end violence against women and girls. Thank you.
You've only spoken about the female part, and we've seen male being physically abused, especially in Nyeri. So what is the policy when the boy child is concerned?
It's a reality. Even the men are facing this violence. But according to the statistics that we have, especially in my county, the rate of violence against women and girls is up compared to the boy child. And that's why I have focused my vision in eradicating this violence.
According to the National Bureau of Statistics, close to 80% of all businesses in Kenya employ less than 5 people. Amongst these, 400,000 die every year, with close to 90% of all startups in Kenya not being able to see their second birthday. My policy proposition is that we rethink this self-defeating process and instead support fewer high-impact enterprises with proven track records in driving productivity and job creation. Through this approach, we can provide exceptional entrepreneurs with sufficient resources to build homegrown multinationals that employ thousands and build millions in indigenous wealth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think all candidates deserve a really big round of applause.
We have selected 4 people on the basis of about 6 or 7 attributes. So these were some of the considerations that have led us to the 4. The first is that they have clearly demonstrated this is a big issue. We also looked for boldness. We looked and listened for evidence. We listened for results. We also listened to some extent for people who were graceful with the questions that came.
The first person representing Kenya in the UK at the Future Leaders Connect 2018 is Desma Natome. The second person representing Kenya, Shamsa Omar. The third person representing Kenya in the UK, Stella Bosire. The fourth and final person representing Kenya at the Future Leaders Connect 2018, Sahil Shah.
So my promise to the British Council and to the future leaders is that I will carry the Kenyan flag high as we go to Cambridge and the UK. And I will absorb all the lessons I can and bring them back so that we can create a better country.
I pledge that what I'm doing currently will be seen in the world, starting from my county, Kenya, and towards the world.
I will continue raising accountability questions to the government and to the other development partners about how we are not addressing health from a human rights perspective and how we need to critically do so.
Given that I got this opportunity, I am not going to let it waste. Actually, I already have people that are talking to me and they want us to come and talk about carbon and actually ensure that we implement this initiative into law by next year. So I definitely can't wait to yield results.
Well, I hope that they'll enjoy their time in the UK. I hope that they will make the sort of connections with one another, but also with their counterparts from the other 11 countries participating. That will inspire them and give them confidence and give them a basis from which they'll move forward with their change work back in Kenya.